What's going on, you guys? Steve here, and man, today is March 8th, and we just had a Nintendo Direct, a more substantial Direct than some of the other ones we've been getting from Nintendo lately. I know it's been a mixed bag with them. There's a lot of things that we didn't expect. This was almost like, these are some E3 announcements from Nintendo coming from them, so I'm not going to go through every single little piece of detail, just more of the big ones that stand out. I might just run through them all quickly, but in no specific order, I'm just going off the notes I have here. Hyrule Warriors, the definitive edition, complete edition, whatever they're, the final version, the port of Hyrule Warriors come to the Switch is coming this year, actually. Let me actually check the date, because I did hear it. May, which is a lot sooner. So that's interesting for people who didn't really enjoy it. I enjoyed Hyrule Warriors for what it was. It was a good fan-based game, but it kind of hit and miss for me. It's not exactly what like Fire Emblem Warriors was for me, where it incorporated a lot more Fire Emblem. Hyrule Warriors was almost exactly just Dynasty Warriors with the skin on it. One thing I am excited about, though, is the Splatoon 2 Octo DLC coming out to it. It's a single-player expansion, and again, I believe the date is for this summer. Yes, this summer, where you actually play as a Octoling, which is something the fan base has been trying to do for a while. There's a bunch of mods and stuff for it, so that's exciting news. I know I don't sound ecstatic. I'm not going to overreact it, but it is exciting, and it's nice to see that Splatoon 2 is getting that support, not just from multiplayer, because the multiplayer fan base did die off pretty quickly, and I'm not sure why it did as much. People always talk about Splatoon 1 not getting the love it needed. So Splatoon 2 came out, people loved it. I was playing it every single night with my wife, and then just one day we stopped playing. And it's hard to, get up and go for it. Octopath Traveler, which now I guess is the official day, got a release date of June 13th. Again, sooner than I thought it was. Square Enix usually takes a long time with these kind of announcements. Undertale was also announced to come over, which I've yet to play. I played a little bit. I've been meaning to get it on Vita and PlayStation 4. I think maybe Switch might be my best shot, actually, because I can carry it with me. Don't have to do any cloud saving, nothing like that. Little Nightmares, all 8 chapters, and previously released DLC is going to come to it in a couple months. Some more ports, not really ports, but South Park, The Fractured But Whole, which is a next-gen, current-gen game. And something I kept telling myself while I was playing The Fractured But Whole was, man, I wish I could just take this with me. Doing these little knickknacks and going around collecting little collectibles. That's something that I would love to have done on the road, especially on long drives and stuff. So that's exciting to see that. And it's also exciting to see Ubisoft and these other, M-rated games be put on Nintendo. Nintendo isn't being seen as a toy company, as a cheesy little kid game, system anymore. I mean, South Park, The Fractured But Whole was a real game. It's a real South Park game. If you know South Park, it's not for children. Again, Little Nightmares, Undertale. There was a couple 3DS things, but I don't really want to focus on that because the 3DS is over. I know Bowser's Inside Stories coming to 3DS, and some little things like that. But more importantly, one I did not expect and I could not have guessed. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy Nintendo Switch version announced. It's crazy that Nintendo Switch is going to get a version of Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy that we just got last year, before Xbox does. And I'm excited, even though this is an Activision, game, and of course Activision game is all over the place. It's all about making money. It's awesome. I don't think I'm going to really get it because I could barely get through it on the PlayStation 4 because of how difficult it was at some points, and that's just more of a PlayStation game for me. But again, people who don't have a PlayStation 4, there you go. And wanted that Crash? Here it is on your Switch, all 3. So that's going to be exciting. Captain Toad, which is one of the final, I think, Wii U games that people were asking for to be ported to the Switch. Captain Toad to be there. With more levels, enhanced version. I think there's Mario Odyssey inspired things being added to it. Again, that was all in the Direct. No More Heroes. Some gameplay finally showing off No More Heroes. Travis Strikes Again. It's going to feature co-op as well as the adventure that tells a new story. Obviously, being some sort of sequel connection to the previous two games. I played No More Heroes, but unfortunately, I did not play it on the Wii or anything like that. I actually played the remake on the PlayStation 3, the remake of the first one, and the game was fine, but it just was not the exact game for me. Maybe this one will hook me more in than usual. And the other port is Okami HD announced for Switch, which I kind of saw this coming, even though it was on PlayStation 4, it was moved to Xbox One. I mean, the game came out the HD version came out very quietly on the new ones. It was more of a big deal when they announced HD versions on the previous console. So that's going to be exciting. That game is something I've yet to beat. I've started that game 100 times on 100 different consoles, and I think having Okami on the Switch, which again, if you haven't played Okami, it's Legend of Zelda, except you're always a wolf. I think Switch is actually where I can constantly stay with it and actually stick through to the end with it. So I'm excited for that. Hot off the tails of the Mario Party 100 top game thing, we have WarioWare Gold coming to 3DS, unfortunately, not the Switch, with 300 mini games and all that stuff. I'd be excited if it was coming to Switch. Again, the world has come to a conclusion that the 3DS is done. It's time to move on from it. But Nintendo obviously doesn't want to be loyal to their fan base, and all the people who do have those 3DSs, 3DSs are crazy popular still. But to the, hardcore gamer, it's time to move on from the 3DS. So we have that. Mario's Tennis actually gets this release date, which is actually a lot sooner than I expected. They are going for... My goodness, I cannot see the date. June 22nd, sorry. June 22nd, which that date was leaking earlier throughout the week, and especially today. Obviously, leaks always come out before Nintendo Directs. So, again, it looks more fleshed out than the Wii U version. Again, the Wii U version of Mario Tennis was a piece of junk. All you could really do was back and forth. There was no sort of story mode. There was no sort of bonus. There was no sort of... It was bare bones, and we're going to see probably a lot of those assets moved up to it. So, yes, the big one. Let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about it. Super Smash Brothers for the Nintendo Switch finally confirmed. We've heard rumors. We've heard talks ever since the Switch was announced. So now we have a teaser, and it's coming in 2018. That's what we're told. Obviously, it's going to be a big E3 game Nintendo's going to be pushing. I mean, this is their flagship game, of course, any console they have. Now, the issue people are discussing now is this a new Smash Brothers? Is this an enhanced version? My guess, it's an enhanced version. Though you see Splatoon Inklings running around, and you see Mario and what appears to be the Breath of the Wild version of Link, as well as a lot of people shadowed. For Smash Brothers to come out this soon, I mean, Smash Brothers usually have big gaps. For Smash Brothers to come out this soon, that means they had to either, if this is a new Smash Brothers, that means they, right off the tails of Smash Brothers for Wii U and 3DS, knew that they weren't going to sell and they had to create a new game. I think it's going to be more of an enhanced version. It's going to have, the bells and whistles, but it's going to borrow a lot of assets. And the fact that they're still calling it Super Smash Brothers for Wii U for Switch, to me means that this is the same game we had on 3DS and Switch, 3DS and Wii U, and finally have it on Switch. I'm excited to finally get back into Smash Brothers. I'm such a hardcore fighting game fan, and Smash Brothers just didn't land it for me because there was no way to truly enjoy playing it. I hated using my Wii U as a home system because it took too long, crazy setup. Controls was fine because, of course, we used an ancient GameCube version, control pad to use it. But what killed that to me was the 3DS version that spoiled everything for me. So it sucks that we have that. So hopefully this time around, I'm going to treat it like it's a new launch, even though it's not going to have a story mode. It's not going to have a crazy thing. I would love an overhaul of the UI. The interface was disgusting on Super Smash Bros. Wii U. Things were just disorganized. So hopefully we get obviously that's going to be an E3 thing. They're going to show us all about what's going on in that. So all in all, this was a short and sweet Nintendo Direct. This is the Directs people ask for. The facts, the games, Obviously, we would like to hear a little bit more of an online service, what they're doing for Virtual Console, any sort of backwards compatibility with, again, Virtual Console in GameCube games, stuff like that. I know they did announce they were remaking the original Luigi's Mansion, but for 3DS. Again, I don't know what they're still trying to push the 3DS. I mean, most of everyone I know has packed up the 3DS, sold their 3DS, and it's all about the Switch. So this is probably gonna be the last year we hear big titles for the Nintendo 3DS. Detective Pikachu and all these other little things like that. It's more exciting to know that the Switch is alive and well, and year two is starting so strong. I just posted on my Instagram about how excited I was for year two, and cheers to year two of the Switch and to Nintendo and gaming as a whole, because with this direct just starting off our year, I mean, I know we're in March, but starting off the year, it's going to be exciting to see what else Nintendo has for us and what else they can really surprise us with. At this point, all the ports and transfers of the Wii U age is pretty much over. We still have some being to re-release, Donkey Kong and Hyrule Warriors and everything like that. But after that, it's going to be all new titles. It's not going to be rehashes and plays a new character in this and a port of the games that unfortunately flopped and failed on the Nintendo Wii U. So I'm excited, guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this Nintendo Direct, where the leaks, what spoiled it. Again, most of these things I did not hear leaked. I'm usually, in the Twitter space, Instagram space, where these kind of informations leak and you hear about it. So it's crazy. I'm excited to see what Nintendo really has to push out. There's still a lot of question marks, a lot of surprises I feel that they have coming for us this year. So let me know what are some things that you guys are hoping to hear from Nintendo. What are some disappointments you heard from that Direct? What were you expecting that you didn't get? I know a lot of people were expecting a lot of Pokemon announcements, and I don't think we're there yet. I mean, they just released Ultra Sun and Moon not too long ago. So for them to completely overhaul a Pokemon game to release on Switch, it's gonna be from the ground up. If you just ported Ultra Sun and Moon or regular Sun and Moon, gave us Pokemon Stars or whatever, it would look disgusting on the Switch if you really stretched out that picture. Pokemon Sun and Moon, though some scenes looked really good, the game did not look that pretty. Did not look that great. So I'm okay waiting for a full-fledged Pokemon game for the Switch. I know a lot of people expected this direct to be that, but again, I think we're a little bit away still. If anything, that's a fall game of next year. I'd be surprised if they cranked out a full-fledged Pokemon game that quick, whether it be Sun 2, Moon 2, whatever they decided to call it. So that's it. March 8th, Nintendo Direct. We have a lot of things to look forward to, and Nintendo's got that ball rolling still ever since the original Switch announcement. So I'm excited to be on this train. I've got my Switch charging up right now. It's been a little bit since I've played it, but I'm excited to get back into that groove. Until there's more information and more stuff to talk, guys, I'll catch you next time.